This is just a short video. I want to draw your attention to something that XOXOXO triple zero alerted me to in the comments section of my previous video. McHale is just a Jeremy Lin doubter. It's an interview by McHale during yesterday's practice.
What are some things that has surprised you? Anything surprised you about since you got him here?
Just the conditioning that he got himself into. I didn't know if he'd be able to play the style that we wanted to play, at the pace we wanted to play. But his conditioning from August till now is amazing, what he's done to his body. He's probably, I know he was 295, I think, at that point. I think he's 275 now and really in great shape and playing and able to run. And, you know, again, we're playing him too many minutes. We got Greg, Tim, Thomas. Somebody's got to step up so we can give him some more rest.
About playing Phoenix quickly after what happened here today.
We didn't play him the other day, so maybe we'll try playing him on Wednesday.
Coach, Jeremy mentioned that you've made a point of pointing out that they've lost 5 games recently against sub-500 teams. Do you feel like that? I know that you've had plenty of wake-up calls in that regard, but do you think that that will not be an issue the last?
If I had to bring it up to them, they either don't know the standings, don't look at anything, or don't care.
Simple as that.
You think?
Should be.
If you were doing a horseshit job, do you think that your boss would have to tell you?
I would hope not.
There you go.
Professional pride and all.
You would think, though. Okay.
Jeremy just said, especially given the homestand, the schedule, the way it kind of lines
The
up.
homestand means nothing if we don't play well. The homestand means nothing if we play the way we did against Phoenix. But then again against Washington. And then again against Milwaukee at home. We gave up 28 points off our turnovers, had 21 turnovers, and gave them 24 second chance points. That's 52 points that they got off of our stuff. That's unacceptable.
You had the depth around you when we walked in. Were those the points you were making this season?
I made a lot of points today.
That's Demetrius Jordan, big slam dunk. Can you talk a little about that? Did you see this?
No.
In terms of other people taking on the rebounding load in addition to the people.
Everybody's got to rebound. Our 2s and 3s got to rebound. We had guys that didn't rebound. We had 4 guys that played about 90-some minutes between them out of 240 minutes, and they had 0 defensive rebounds in a game where we got smoked on the defensive glass. Again, you know, I mean, if you got to be told that, then you got a long way to go to become a professional. Being a professional athlete in this league is taking responsibility, going out there and saying, what didn't I do well? What have I got to do better? And owning it, you know. And you know, that's where we've got to grow. We did not play well against Phoenix. We got to play a hell of a lot better.
Again, these interviews are pretty much open to interpretation. No one can say for sure what's in McHale's mind. We can only make our best guesses. I don't think anyone can say definitively that they're right or the other person is wrong. Here's my very subjective and biased opinion on the interview. First of all, I've never seen McHale that angry all season. I think one of the reasons for McHale's frustration is because obviously because they've lost so many games against sub-500 teams. And the frustration has probably just been mounting up. But I also think it has to do with the whole McHale-Lin dynamic. The interviewer mentioned the 2 magical words, Jeremy Lin. And I think that's partly what set off McHale. Now, I didn't see the Suns game, but it sounds like Jeremy really messed up in that game and was the primary reason for the loss. It also sounded to me like Jeremy played really uncharacteristically. It sounded like he pressed too much or something. Jeremy rarely forces the issue this season. I think he plays pretty much within the offense, and if anything, he needs to be more aggressive and press a little more. Anyway, it sounded like Jeremy was the big reason for the Suns' loss. If that's the case, then I think McHale's anger is primarily directed at Jeremy. And I think there's more evidence for the McHale-Lin dynamic that some people think is just something that Lin fans are making up out of thin air. I mean, I haven't seen McHale that angry this season. I think the fact that Lin was the reason for the Suns' loss is what set McHale off. This is what I mean when I said in my previous video that when Lin messes up, McHale can't hide his anger or frustration. I think McHale behaved pretty irrationally in this interview because he was so angry and probably couldn't think straight. For example, when he fired back at the interview with the whole, if you got to be told that, I think that's an irrational statement because of course Lin and the guys know that they've lost 5 games against sub 500 teams. Lin was just simply bringing it up to an interview as something that McHale pointed out in practice. It was just a simple statement. McHale just took it and completely twisted to seem like Lin and the guys are a bunch of clueless kids. It's one of those things where you screw up, and you know how you screwed up, but I went ahead and told you how you screwed up, and I think that by the mere fact of me telling you how you screwed up, I have the right to say that you didn't know how you screwed up until I told you. Does that make sense? To me, that's basically what McHale did in the interview, and that's what I have a problem with. Again, it's McHale being over the top and unnecessarily making Lin and the guys seem like a bunch of clueless kids. He even went so far as to basically imply that Lin doesn't have what it takes to be a professional athlete, and that's disrespectful to me. I'm all for coaches being tough, but you can be tough and respectful of your players. You can be tough and not twist things to make your players look bad. That's what I have a problem with, and I think that's why this interview is more evidence for the whole McHale-Lin dynamic. McHale should be thankful that he has a bunch of very coachable players who have high basketball IQs, high character, and high work ethic. This Rockets team is full of really great guys, probably one of the best in the league when it comes to being all-around good guys and good teammates and such. But McHale continues to pound on the fact that they're a bunch of clueless little kids every chance he gets. And in this interview, he goes out of his way to do this by twisting the intent and meaning of what one of his players said. I didn't mean to have this channel be some sort of anti-McHale rant channel, because that so goes against my nature. I'm someone who thinks carefully and thoroughly about things before I say them. And believe it or not, I'm not a conspiracy theorist type. But I'm also someone who doesn't shy away from saying what I believe, even if it means being ridiculed. Because I go through a lot of trouble to form those beliefs. They're not just slapped together haphazardly. Also, I'm not a McHale hater. If you read my blog from the beginning of this season, I was a defender of McHale because I wasn't familiar with his coaching, and I believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt rather than jumping to conclusions. Anyway, the reason I made this video is because I made a bunch of accusations about McHale in the last video, so I feel it's my responsibility to present more evidence to support some of my accusations when I come across them. And this interview was brought to my attention by XOXOXO000, so it wasn't like I was going out and looking for it. Anyway, I'm working on another video I hope to finish today, and that won't have anything to do with McHale. I know I'm making a lot of leaps of interpretations in this video, so I'm open to being completely wrong here. As usual, let me know what you think below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, etc. Thanks for listening.